Hi, I'm Peter Birch. Today we're down here at the waterfront. We're going to learn some cool stuff about Australian seabirds. Thanks to our good friends from Reptile One. Welcome to CrittaCam. Well, we're here with Cathy from ASR, or Australian Seabird Rescue. Central Coast Division, yeah. So, I guess today's a pretty monumental day for you guys, right?
Yeah.
One of many days.
One of many, that's right, yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's right. We launched 13 years ago here on the Central Coast, and yeah, we've rescued hundreds and hundreds of pelicans in that time. But you know, each one, every time you release one, especially ones that are so close to death, and you're able to release them back out there and let them be what they're supposed to be, and that's good, healthy pelicans. Yeah, nothing's better.
The total, or the ultimate warm, fuzzy feeling, I can tell you that. And I mean, as a coastie myself, and a lot of Australians live by the coast, we should take a little bit more responsibility when it comes to our wildlife, basically, regardless of its shape and form.
That's right. Look, a majority of the injuries we do get for the pelicans is fishing hook and line injuries. So, and some of them can be really horrific. But you know, we've just found with a lot of litter, you know, getting around our waterways, we get the dead and decaying matter in the litter, and it forms, you know, all around, and this is what creates the botulism. We hit a 30-degree day like today. Botulism spores, then we get some rain. The rain washes the spore down into the lake. Fish eat the spores, the birds eat the fish, and it's a avian botulism. So if humans catch the fish, won't affect them if they eat it, but it does the birds, and regardless of size. So you know, pelicans are big, male pelicans, huge, and it will hit him like a ton of bricks. And in not too long a time either. That's just it. We need to get to them really quickly.
You did say earlier how it sort of debilitates them. It sort of slowly breaks them down.
Yeah, like it paralyses them. So it starts with the legs first, so then they can't walk or they can't move. So then they'll normally bring themselves up onto land because they can't swim. So that they're at the mercy of the water if they don't. Then they can't fly, so their wings go, so then they're on land, they can't run, they can't fly. You've got people, dogs, predators, you know, then their neck goes, so then they can't lift their heads up. So heads are laying down, and the last thing to go is the nictitating eyelid, so the membrane across their eyes, and that's when you know they're really flat, and you know, it's a touch and go whether you can bring them back from that.
So, I mean, luckily enough, Cooper was able to be saved, and you did say earlier that there was 2 birds rescued on the same day.
On the same day, so we had 2 birds come in with the botulism. One was a large adult male, and then this little guy. And before we could administer the drip to the male pelican, he died. So
the drip was for hydration, was it?
Absolutely, yeah. So they need to be rehydrated as straight away. Like that's like the critical part, you know, and then the antibiotics and that follow, but the rehydration is what we use to bring them back, and we have a really good success rate, so it's awesome.
That's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of birds out there, and I'm like you said earlier, fishing line, hooks, you must see a lot of horrible things that people leave behind, even rubbish like plastic. Plastic is probably the biggest killer of most.
Absolutely, you know,
animals.
We rescued more marine turtles last year than we have in the whole entire time since our group launched 13 years ago. 3 of those turtles we took down to Taronga Zoo, and they were found after x-raying to have plastic ingestion, and they ended up having to be euthanized because it couldn't be extracted. There was nothing we could do to make the turtles pass the plastic. It's just the state of the oceans and the waterways. We really need to start picking up the rubbish, whether it's yours or not. Pick it up, don't walk past it, and especially plastic bags. We need to stop the single-use plastic. We need to start, you know, with our own keep cups and our own water bottles. We need to take them with us all the time. Plastic knives and forks, straws, oh my gosh.
Straws are horrible.
You know, like,
horrible.
The commitment that goes into making straws, the amount of energy, resource and water, and we use it for what, a minute? And then it's gone. Like, wow, you know, I carry my own stainless steel straw with me everywhere I go, so I'm like a no straw person.
Multiple straw usage.
Absolutely, yeah.
So with the Australian Seabird Rescue, it's not government funded. It's a
No.
private based.
Yeah, we're an
community-based
incorporated registered charity.
Yep.
Our head office is Ballina, so they are Australian Seabird Rescue Inc.
Yep.
And they have 2 branches, which is us on the Central Coast, and we have another branch down on the South Coast.
Yep. And I guess everyone can get involved, regardless of age.
My gosh,
even like Cooper.
Yeah, look at this.
You know, you can get on board, and I mean, the greatest way that we can start conservation is through
Kids,
the
that's
young'uns,
right. Yeah.
know,
So
the
we
kids.
do school education, we do beach cleanups, we do workshops, we do rescues, we do lots of rescues. You know, and anybody and everybody. And I mean, you know, you don't. If you want to get involved in a feel-good organisation, we tick all the boxes.
Yep.
But you don't have to be out there rescuing if that's not what you feel comfortable in, because we do stores, we need to fundraise, we need people that have computers, you know, to help maybe do newsletters and get the word out. So it's not just always about the hands-on animal side. If that's not what you're comfortable with, we've got lots of things that we could get you to do that doesn't involve that.
Well, I'm definitely the hands-on animal guy, as you know.
Yeah,
I get in there and get amongst it. And I mean, if you guys really want to know, I mean, you've got a GoFundMe campaign?
Absolutely, yeah. So we launched the GoFundMe because we had damage to our aviaries, and so we've had to utilise other help to have coop in care. So we started the GoFundMe so that we could start to get funds to start setting up a couple of aviaries around the coast, so that, you know, we've got our hospital bases set up and the birds then have every chance. And I mean, you know, we'd set up a big one for pelicans, but we get albatross, we get petrels. Or last year we had a southern giant petrel in care. You know, we get the shearwaters, we get the penguins. So, you know, all these aviaries can work for all of them. And then and we also fundraise for a pool for the turtles.
That's a bit of diversity right there.
Yeah,
I mean, not only just funding for accommodation, the funding also goes back into veterinary bills. And all the rest of it, the
that's
biggest
right.
cost.
Look, you know, vets, I guess, try to help as much as they can, but with so much wildlife being injured and requiring help nowadays because of the situation we as humans have put this planet in, their resources are getting stretched with having to help us out. So, you know, they charge, and they're not cheap as people that have domestic animals know. They're not cheap, and so, you know, you've only got that. You've got the food and care. You know, like the 2 seagulls we released today. You know, they've been in care for 3 months, eating 2 bags of bait fish every day.
Wow. So you weren't feeding them hot chips?
No. Yeah. Oh, towards the end of it, I didn't. No.
But that's the dedication most people don't understand. It's not just the veterinary bills. We're talking about the food. We're talking about housing. There's so much that goes into
That's right. You're washing towels.
Animals.
You're forever changing bedding, and
you almost become a slave to them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, you don't. It's a lot of fun. I love it. We all love it.
Yeah. No, it's a great thing. Yeah. And I mean, if you guys want to know a bit more details about Australian Seabird Rescue, the link's below. Give them a hit and find out more about them. I guess the big moment for today, and the big thing is we're going to release some birds. We're going to let them go back to where they belong, back out there, more importantly. And they're going to go back. Basically, this is the same area they've come from, right?
Absolutely.
And that's probably the biggest thing when it comes to rescuing animals, is releasing them back where they've come from. They can find, and in this instance, the pelicans have got little colonies, and there's a little baby island over the back there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So hopefully Coop's going to go back in, join his people, really.
And this is the reason. I mean, the beauty of pelicans is they're not territorial type animals, so you don't need to release them exactly where you rescue them from. You know, like if Cooper was older than he is, I'd have released him at the entrance because that's where I live. But he's still learning the ways of being a pelican, so he was still too young to be out there with a general population that has left the breeding island. So that's the reason why we've released him back down here today, because he'll crash together with the other babies, and they keep learning, and, you know, learning how to fish, learning how to protect themselves, learning how to fly,
socialise,
Absolutely. So that's the reason it was really important, because he was still too young to release him anywhere else other than near the island where the babies crash together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it.
I know. Yay. We've got the 2 guys today that rescued this little fella. There were 2 birds that were suffering the botulism. One of them unfortunately didn't make it as we were about to drip them, put the IV in. He actually died before we had the chance, but this little guy was really flat. Kate, our vet, got the fluids into him through the IV, and 4 bags later and a couple of fish, and he's now standing up, walking, preening, snapping at us, trying to bite and ready to go. So he's only a young one, so he can't fly like the big adults out there, but that's why we need to get him back so that he's over with the creche of babies over at the breeding island, where they learn together. They're like gentle with one another, learning how to fish together, to fly together, and all the rest of it. So we've got a couple of babies that have come over here because they've seen, you know, some fish being thrown, and so they're like, what? The ones with the black and white. So Pete,
it's a welcoming party to welcome him back home.
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day, this is what it's all about: is getting them back into their environment.
Oh my gosh, this is when you get them and they're so flat and just, you know, not long off dying, and you know that's exactly what's going to happen if we don't get to them.
Yeah,
they're going to die, and it's not a nice death. It's rather cruel and painful. They lose their legs first, the use of their legs.
Yeah.
It gets like a paralysis, and they lose their wings, and then they can't hold their head up, and then their nictitating membrane's the last thing that goes. So
that's pretty sad.
And he was nearly at that. We got the eye ointment on his eye to keep it all nice and moist. He ended up with an eye infection as well. But he's come good, and the team of ASR Central Coast, they've just been amazing, you know, coming and helping him, taking him to North Avoca for rehab on his legs, you know, for a swim and all the rest of it. So it's just been fantastic.
That's pretty amazing, and what's pretty amazing is the amount of support you've got from the local people.
Yeah.
You know, these guys,
all the time.
The volunteers, spending and giving their time to help these poor little critters that most people just overlook so much. You know what I mean? Yeah, when you're living so close to the water, which Australia is fully covered by the ocean,
especially
you know.
Central Coast, like waterways everywhere, beaches, lakes, lagoons, you name it.
Everyone's out fishing, catching fish.
Oh yeah.
And some of the things we do really impacts on these guys. It's pretty warm, so we're going to let him go.
Yeah.
Let him get out there and get amongst his people. So here we go, guys.
There we go.
One thing, he's going to go in the water for sure. The second thing is I might end up in there as well, so that's a bonus, right? You want to hold his beak? Yeah, okay. Here we go.
There we go. Yay! See ya! See you, Coop. Hey. Little bit of a tail feather happening there. Oh, come on, flap those wings. Oh, that's it.
It's a welcoming party.
Yeah. They're like, oh, what's going on?
Like a miniature Buddha covered in hair. Come again? You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please. Huh? You pooped in the refrigerator.
Well, that's pretty amazing. If you guys want to know how to get in touch with Australian Seabird Rescue, hit them up on Facebook, give them a like, see the work they're doing. If you can get behind and support their GoFundMe for campaigns, make sure you do that as well. Make sure you hit up CrittaCam on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Till next time, guys, thank you for joining the adventure. Thanks for watching CrittaCam.